Poverty is a choice. Okay? Let me explain this to you, and you explain it to me in the comments down below. Whoever commented on one of my videos saying you should not be living in El Salvador as a Westerner because people are poor in El Salvador is absolutely nonsense. My husband's family is Salvadoran. Now my family is Salvadoran. My son is Salvadoran. And all of my future children are also Salvadoran. My husband's family fled El Salvador during the Civil War when people were getting their heads blown off. They left. My husband was born as an immigrant or a child to immigrants in the US. He grew up with rats running around the floor, around his feet, sleeping on the floor, not being able to afford his own place to sleep in as a child in New York. Disgusting, poor living conditions, born to immigrants, Salvadoran immigrants who had nothing. Now, when you say that people shouldn't be living in poor countries because they are Westerners, you are justifying why other Salvadoran people are poor. My husband is Salvadoran. He was born with zero. No, nothing. Nothing. Okay? No silver spoon. No gold spoon. So he was able to become successful starting from zero. And yet people like you know who you are, commenting on videos with these types of comments makes absolutely zero sense. So you can choose to become a cleaner with minimum wage. Okay, you can choose to be a farmer making $300 a month or $200 a month, or you can actually choose to do something else with your life and take risks. Okay, because there are plenty of wealthy people in El Salvador, and we have met some amazing entrepreneurs who are Salvadoran, who started with zero. Now you're telling me that poverty is being justified because you're Salvadoran. That is not a justification. Just because someone is Salvadoran, you should not be justifying the fact that they are poor. There are poor people all over the world, just like how my husband started out living poor, broke, no food, nowhere to sleep, rats, cockroaches, disgusting, okay? There are so many people all over the world who are wealthy in poor countries because they actually made an effort to do something with their lives. Now, we are living in an area surrounded by people that we may see as being poor in a material sense, but yet they are landowners. They own land. How many people living in the cities in the US and UK and Europe are landowners? Tell me. Give me a percentage rate. There is a higher percentage of people living in El Salvador who are poor that own huge pieces of land, manzanas, acres of land. You hear me? There are thousands of fruits dropping off the trees every single year in El Salvador. Lemons, mangoes, avocados, everything. Bananas growing on the highways. And yet, you want to complain about being poor because of the prices of fruit? Why don't you go to the trees? The people like me are picking the fruit off the road that are driven on with cars because none of the poor people want to take the free fruit that's around them and eat it for their family. But yet we are? How are you going to justify being poor any longer when these giant mangoes drop to the floor and no one is picking them up? And you're trying to tell me that you want to suffer, that you're suffering, that it's not your choice, that you don't want to suffer, okay? And that it's not justified for anyone else to be here who's not poor? Most poor people, poor again, they own a phone. Can you believe it? They have Wi-Fi. You have a computer in your pocket, but you're not using it. Guess what the poor people are doing? Scrolling on TikTok, doing nothing, laying in the macas all day, laying in their hammock. Okay, but you're poor. So how are you going to justify it any longer? Poverty is a sin. Yeshua Christ taught us, our master Yeshua, he taught us that to him that hath, more shall be given unto him. To him that hath not, more shall be taken from him. Okay? What that means is that if you believe that you do not have and you are lacking, then more shall be taken from you. You will continue to remain poor. Because there are many Salvadoran entrepreneurs, there are wealthy, successful Salvadoran people who live in El Salvador, born and raised with zero, you cannot justify being poor any longer. Just because a majority may be lacking in that sense, they're not doing anything to change it. I don't see you scraping on the floor for mangoes and bananas like we do. Oh, but you're so poor. So what are you doing scrolling on TikTok all day? You're poor. What are you doing working at a call center when you could get into real estate? Oh, but you're poor. Oh, so you don't have a choice? You don't have two hands, or you don't have a face, you don't have legs? Oh, so you're poor. You can't do anything. You're poor, right? Stop using your circumstances as an excuse. Because my husband grew up as a poor Salvadoran with nothing. Nothing was served to him. Nothing was given to him. And he found a way. His first job was a minimum wage cleaner. Okay? Then construction. Then he moved up and he did more because why? He wanted to do more. Okay? So if you want to do more for your life, then do it. And stop blaming everyone else, because it's going to get you nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. You will remain stuck for the rest of your life as long as you use other people who are actually choosing to make better decisions for their life as a reason to justify your own suffering. Bless.